A file with no track number, no login. Just 3 words: Wells, summary, draft. And she had no business opening it. Rain against glass. That was the first sound in the room. Soft, then harder, streaking down the soundproofed windows of the 3rd-floor recording studio in long, restless lines. The overhead light buzzed faintly. Equipment cooled in the dark around her, red standby lights blinking like a slow pulse. Hannah Wells sat alone at the mixing console, flash drive in hand, the cable cord swaying slightly from the draft under the door. She'd booked this room until midnight to bounce her final vocal arrangement for the winter showcase. 3 weeks of mixing, finally finished. She plugged in, the screen flickered. A folder bloomed open on its own, the local cache spilling out a file that didn't belong to her, timestamped less than 2 hours ago, recorded in this exact booth. The one Garrett had reserved tonight. For his philosophy notes, he'd said, "For eligibility." Her finger hovered over the trackpad. Outside, the rain picked up, hammering the glass now, blurring the courtyard lights into long gold smears. Inside, the only sound was her own breathing. She clicked play, pulled the studio headphones over her ears. The waveform crawled slowly across the screen, rising and falling like something breathing. Determinism is the philosophy that all events, including human actions, are ultimately determined by causes external to the will. Garrett's voice, flat, mechanical, reading off her highlighted syllabus like it physically pained him. A pause, long enough that she almost pulled the headphones off. Papers rustling, a chair creaking. Then a sharp exhale that clipped the mic, distorted and close like he'd leaned right into it. Screw it. She's not going to read the metadata anyway. A beat. His voice dropped, rougher now, unguarded in a way she'd never once heard from him in 3 months of late-night study sessions. Wellesley, if you actually go to the coffee house with Justin Friday night, I'm skipping the 3rd period skate against Boston. I'm not passing this midterm because I care about a GPA. I'm passing because I can't focus on the ice if I think you're looking at someone else. The waveform went flat. Silence. Hannah ripped the headphones off so fast the cord snapped against the console, the sound sharp in the empty room. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. She stared at her own reflection in the dark monitor, pale, wide-eyed, completely undone by 4 sentences she was never supposed to hear. If you want to know what happens when Garrett finds out Hannah heard every word, hit subscribe right now. This is the one that breaks the rules. The glass skywalk connecting the music building to the library stretched 30 feet above the quad, rain drumming against the panels on both sides. The whole corridor lit a dim amber from the lamps below. Hannah's sneakers squeaked against the wet floor tiles. Her reflection ghosted beside her in the glass. And then a second reflection joined it. Logan, still in his Under Armour from practice, a duffel bag slung over one shoulder. Rain darkening the collar of his jacket where he hadn't bothered with a hood. "You walk fast when you're trying not to think about something," he said, matching her pace without asking permission. She didn't slow down. Below them, headlights smeared across the wet brick path, students hurrying under umbrellas that weren't enough. "Garrett's pacing the kitchen like he's looking for a fight," Logan said. "Said you left your flash drive in the booth? He needs to learn how to clear his local cache." Her voice cracked on the last word. She hated that it cracked. Logan stopped walking. So she had to stop too, the rain drumming overhead, their reflections frozen mid-stride in the glass. He studied her. Really studied her, the kind of look that came from knowing someone's tells better than they did. "What did you actually hear, Hannah?" The rain answered for her. She didn't. The campus coffee house smelled like espresso and wet umbrellas left dripping by the door. Steam curled off rows of forgotten lattes. A low acoustic track played from hidden speakers, and every table held a laptop glowing blue in the dim light. Dean found her in the back booth, sliding in across from her with 2 espressos balanced in one hand like he did this every day. Rain had soaked through one shoulder of his jacket. "Garrett, my captain." "Oh, wait, you're the smarter half of the study group." He set a cup in front of her, the foam still settling. "I've accidentally escalated our favorite campus triangle. Slightly." A neon pink flyer slid across the table, damp at one corner. An acoustic showcase. Tomorrow night. Right here, on that small stage in the corner currently dark and empty. "What did you do?" "Dean. Justin was complaining near the vending machines that you've been ignoring his texts." Dean stirred his espresso slowly, watching her face instead of the cup. So I told him you're only spending time with Garrett because the athletic board forced a tutoring contract on you. Now he thinks he's rescuing you, dedicating his closing song to you tomorrow, right on that stage, in front of the entire Alpha Phi board. Outside the window behind him, rain blurred the streetlights into halos. Garrett was standing right behind me when I said it, Dean added, quieter now. Didn't say a word. Just grabbed his bag and walked straight into the rain. The rink at midnight was a different planet entirely. Empty bleachers stretching up into shadow, halogen lights throwing long blue-white beams across fresh ice, the Zamboni's perfect track still visible like brushstrokes. The air was sharp enough to bite. Garrett was alone out there, carving blue-line turns with a violence that had nothing to do with conditioning drills, the blades cutting fast, sharp arcs that sprayed ice in his wake. Hannah's footsteps echoed down through the empty rows. He didn't stop skating until she reached the boards. Graham! He cut hard, sprayed ice against the glass an inch from her hands, breath ragged, hair damp and curling at his temples. Wellesley, thought you abandoned the philosophy department for a guy with an acoustic guitar? I was in the studio. She held his gaze across the boards, refusing to blink first. I found the voice memo. Something shifted behind his eyes. Fast, there and gone, like a door slamming shut and locking. I told you the metadata was messy. You shouldn't have been in the cache. Why did you say it, Garrett? Her fingers tightened white-knuckled on the cold railing. We have rules. You don't get to talk about skipping the Boston game over where I spend my Fridays. That's not the deal. He skated closer. Close enough that when he leaned over the boards, his breath fogged faintly in the cold air between them. Close enough she could see the individual water droplets clinging to his eyelashes. You really think that's all this is? His voice dropped low, rough at the edges. A transaction? You think I spend 3 hours every night on 19th century political theory because I care about a GPA, Hannah? I hate philosophy. I like the way you look explaining it. I wrote that memo because I was tired of pretending I'm just your star pupil. Neither of them moved. The arena lights buzzed overhead, the only sound besides their breathing. His hand was on the boards. Hers was an inch away. Neither closed the distance. He just admitted the whole arrangement was a lie. Alone on the ice at midnight. Comment memo if that line wrecked you. Subscribe. What happens next changes everything between them. Allie's voice hit the tunnel before she did. Footsteps slapping concrete, fast and uneven. Her phone already lit up white against the dark as she came barreling down through the empty bleachers. Thank God you're both here. Breathless, hair sticking to her face from running through rain to get here. The Greek life form is melting down. Someone leaked a scratch track of Hannah's new song to the Alpha Phi chat. Justin's telling everyone the number 44 jersey lyric is about him. Hannah's stomach dropped. That file was password protected. On the cloud. Encrypted. Not anymore. Allie's eyes were too wide, scanning between them like she was bracing for worse. And that's not even the bad part. Coach's assistant is in the security office right now, pulling badge swipe logs from the music building. Someone sent an anonymous tip. Says you two are rigging tutoring hours to keep Garrett eligible. Somewhere above them, a security camera mounted high in the rafters turned slightly, its red light blinking once in the dark, the kind of motion nobody in the room was positioned to notice. I'll handle Coach, Garrett said. Gloves already half off. You can't. Logan's voice came from the tunnel mouth. He's upstairs with the New York Scouts. Walk out now, you're benched tomorrow. Garrett didn't care. His hand crossed the boards and found hers, fingers lacing through, thumb brushing the inside of her wrist once, deliberate. Come with me. Not the house. Somewhere we can actually talk. The roof access door above the athletic building screamed on rusted hinges, and it took Garrett's full shoulder to force it open. Wind hit them immediately. Sharp, cold, carrying the rain sideways now instead of straight down. The whole campus spread out below in smeared gold light, the rink's roof glowing faintly. The music building lit up like a lantern, the quad a maze of wet brick and scattered umbrellas. Hannah walked to the edge first, arms wrapped around herself, hair already plastered to her cheek. Garrett came up behind her, close, not touching, the space between them charged with everything neither of them had said yet. Why are you doing this? She said, not looking at him, watching the lights instead, because if the board reviews those logs and sees we've been at the house instead of the library, I lose my captaincy before the line even hits the ice tomorrow. A gust pulled at his jacket. He didn't move away from it. And I don't care. I told you on the ice. I'm not playing a game anymore. She turned. Rain had darkened his hair to nearly black, droplets tracking down the line of his jaw, his eyes steady on hers in a way that made the wind feel irrelevant. Her hand rose halfway toward his face before she caught herself and let it drop. He noticed. His eyes followed the movement, then came back to hers, and for a second, neither of them breathed. His phone buzzed in his pocket. Sharp, insistent, wrong. He almost didn't check it. He should have kept not checking it. The backstage corridor behind the coffeehouse stage was a mess of stacked folding chairs and tangled extension cords, lit by a single bare bulb swinging slightly from the draft of the side door. Garrett shouldered through first. Hannah followed half a step behind, straight into the middle of a performance already happening, Justin's voice carrying through the gap in the curtain, mid-sentence, mid-spotlight. And the 44 metaphor, honestly, it's the most honest thing she's ever written. It's not a metaphor. Garrett's voice cracked through the curtain loud enough to silence the room. He pushed onto the small stage platform under the warm spotlight, Hannah a step behind, and the crowd of sorority girls and track guys froze mid-applause. Hannah's notebook sat open on a folding table at the edge of the light, placed there like a prop. "It's my jersey number." 3 seconds to put her notebook down. Justin tried to hold the room, the spotlight catching the panic under his bravado. "This isn't the locker room, Graham. She's an artist. Everyone knows she's only tutoring you because the department forced her into it." "I wasn't forced into anything." Hannah crossed the small stage in 4 steps, the room's eyes following her, and lifted the notebook off the table herself, snapped it shut. The sound carried. "I chose to tutor him because he respects my time. Unlike you, he didn't have to steal my private drafts to find something to say on stage." A murmur rolled through the crowd like a wave breaking. Phones lowered. Justin's face went a deep, humiliated red under the stage lights. In the back of the room, near the door, someone's phone screen lit up briefly, angled, recording, before disappearing back into a pocket. Unnoticed by everyone still watching the stage, Hannah just took her notebook back on stage, in front of everyone. Comment owned if that line landed. "Subscribe! Coach is already on his way and this isn't over." The coach's office buzzed with the low hum of a dozen monitors mounted along the back wall, security feeds looping silently on a delay. The rink, the quad, the music building hallway, the coffeehouse entrance. The assistant coach stood in front of them, arms crossed, when Garrett and Hannah were called in. "Graham." Logan said, "Emergency review session." He gestured at one screen without looking at it. "Why does the coffeehouse feed show you and a music major shutting down a stage performance an hour ago?" The office felt smaller than it was. The monitors flickered, casting pale blue light across the desk. Hannah stepped forward before Garrett could speak. "We just finished a review session, Coach. Garrett was going over Hobbs with me. The showcase happened to be in the same building." The coach's eyes moved from her to Garrett, rigid, silent, standing half a step in front of her like a wall. Then his gaze drifted, almost involuntarily, to one specific monitor. A timestamp. A folder visible at the edge of the frame, stamped red, just out of focus. His brow creased for half a second. He didn't mention it. "Academic logs are clean, Graham. Get your gear. Scouts are waiting." He turned back to his screens before either of them could ask what exactly had caught his eye. The locker room was empty, the rest of the team already out on ice. The silence here different. Closer, warmer, smelling faintly of rubber and dryer sheets and the ghost of cheap cologne. A single bench light buzzed overhead. Hannah sat down slowly. Garrett crossed to his stall, dug for his gloves, and stopped halfway there. Neither of them said anything for a long moment. "You're a menace." "Graham," she said finally, watching him from the bench, rain still drying in her hair. He crossed the room in 3 steps, stopped in front of her, tipped her chin up with one finger, slow, deliberate, giving her every chance to pull away. She didn't. "Your menace." His forehead dropped against hers. He smelled like ice and rain and adrenaline, and when he finally kissed her, it wasn't careful. It was everything 3 months of pretending had been building toward. Deep and unguarded, claiming every doubt she'd carried since the courtyard. His eligibility was safe. Her notebook was back in her hands. Whatever this had started as had stopped being an arrangement somewhere between the rooftop and this bench. His phone buzzed against the wood. Sharp and sudden, he pulled back slowly, reaching for it, expecting Logan's roster text. It wasn't Logan, an unsaved number. One image, Hannah's official scholarship review. The page stamped in bold red, pending. The exact same red stamp, if anyone had been looking closely enough, visible at the edge of the security monitor, the assistant coach's eyes had caught on minutes ago and said nothing about. Glad you cleared the logs, Captain. But the coach isn't the only one watching. The music review board just got a tip that the 44 lyrics violate the tutor code of conduct. Let's see how smart Hannah Wells looks explaining her diary to the scholarship committee Monday morning. Garrett went completely still. Hannah felt it before she saw the screen, the sudden tension locking through his shoulders, his hand stopping mid-motion against her jaw. Garrett! Her voice was quiet. What is it? He turned the phone so she could see. 2 floors above them, in the coach's office, the monitor wall kept looping its silent feeds. The rink, the quad, the coffeehouse entrance, the music building hallway. On one screen, paused on a frame nobody had bothered to clear, a figure stood just at the edge of camera range outside the recording studio door, face turned away, perfectly still. Exactly where Hannah had been sitting 2 hours earlier. The timestamp in the corner matched the voice memo to the second. Someone's been watching them all night. The studio, the rink, the stage, even the coach's office. Drop your theories in the comments. Who's behind this? Subscribe and turn on notifications, because the next chapter is where the cameras finally catch them.